Yeah, hi. How are you? Hey, it's Greg Dolan coming to you again from Glendale, California. Uh, Never feel like too many people know where Glendale is. It's on the north edge of Los Angeles. Uh, the most famous thing I can think of here would be our graveyard, the Forest Lawn Cemetery, because Michael Jackson is buried there. My father is buried there. Elizabeth Taylor's. A lot of famous people. Well, of course, we're near. Of course, certain number of famous people are there because Los Angeles has been filled with famous people. Anyway, today I want to show you something that could help you. Might come up in your life. It involves these suitcases that will have this handle that comes out on little poles, so the handle would rise perhaps 2.5 feet from the suitcase. The handle would be maybe 7 inches wide, and at either end of the handle bars come down back to the suitcase, so that and the suitcase is on wheels, so that you can pull up the handle and tip the suitcase and roll it easily along the ground, for example in an airport terminal. And this video, the difficulty with this kind of suitcase is that you can occasionally have difficulty getting the handles back in. And I remember getting on a jet with my mother with her suitcase, and we could not get the handle back in so she could stow it. And in fact, the pilot came out, and even he couldn't get it out. He was just back in. I mean, he was just really jamming down on it, and it wouldn't go back in. And when we got to the hotel that night, I was thinking about how the thing really works and how you could get it in easily. And what I realized is that when you pull it out, I don't know, there's probably some kind of powerful spring down in there that pushes it up and keeps it pulled out, so to speak. But it probably very slightly tips it off center. The handle goes down into a surrounding sort of I want to say an encasing or a case that is right around it. It slides down into it, and when you pull it out, I think that the handle is not perfectly straight coming up out of the casing. In fact, it tips a little to some direction from the force of the spring below it. And if you push down, it won't go, it's sort of jammed in there because you're really not pushing it down perfectly straight. It's slightly tipped in there, and you're pushing it down at an angle, and it sometimes just won't go down, or it goes down with difficulty. And the secret is to sort of push it just a slightly bit, swing it to whatever direction, not pushing down, but sort of horizontal, not pushing down, which would be a vertical push down, but you swing it. I mean, it would be like less than a ½ inch probably. It's just very slightly tipped in that case down there, and you want to swing it so that it's perfectly centered in that case, whatever direction you're going to have to swing it. Usually you'll have to by swing, I just mean swing it forward on a horizontal line until it's perfectly centered in that case. And then when you push down, it goes down real easily, because instead of being tipped very slightly and the bottom of it is hitting against the case perhaps, it's now perfectly aligned and there's no resistance. And when I did that with this suitcase that had been so difficult in the morning, the handle slid back down in easily. And if you've never had one of these suitcases, well, you've probably still seen one. I imagine you can understand what I'm talking about. But if you do have one and you try it, and you ever have a problem getting it back down in, or you just want it to go down easily, you don't really have a problem. You can get it back in, but it's hard. Try what I'm saying, and I'm guessing that it will slide back down in much easier.